Hey guys, you are now tuned in into the Sanford podcast for the culture. So I need you to stop scrolling, open up your eye, and tune in.
Not. Thank you. Is that you trying to fight me?
So yeah, we're definitely gonna talk about some tech today.
Why do you always want to talk about tech?
Tech is good. Tech is interesting. Tech is the next motherfucking frontier.
No, it's not. It's here.
It's here, but it's not really here. You know why? Because we're still distracted by like love and hip hop and other fucking frivolous dumb shit.
We're always gonna be. That's not even a. Are you aware of the human race?
I'm very aware of the human race. I know that, different strokes for different folks, but you do have a majority of people who are engaged and you dumb. Like, I don't know. I just don't.
Exactly.
See
you have a majority
of
the people engaged. And you think the majority of the people are gonna stop being engaged?
No, but I feel like, everybody's. I feel like in any form of way, people have their own way of just pushing their own message. So it's like, I just want to push this message. So I think technology is a very dope subject to talk about. But yeah. Why do you don't have the same energy about it?
About tech?
Yeah.
Because I believe in balance.
This makes me question why'd you do your internship, especially for a company such of that stature and magnitude, the big bird, not the yellow one though.
What does that have anything to do with tech?
What doesn't it not have anything to do with tech? Are you serious? Twitter?
Well,
Twitter has nothing to do with tech. So
I'm not saying it doesn't have anything to do with tech. I'm just saying tech is great, but it can't be the focus.
Of course it can't be. It's not going to always be the focus.
But you said we're moving towards that direction.
We are, but you know what?
Aren't you going to start you ain't going to do your little intro?
Oh, yeah.
Bop, bop, bop.
That's right. That's right. This is Kanai. You are listening to the Sanford podcast for the culture, the community for the thinkers, doers, creators, and the entrepreneurs. I'm here with a dope guest that we had on last episode. Please go ahead and announce yourself.
Hi, guys. I'm Esther.
Yeah, but she was putting up a fight as to why she didn't want to talk about tech. And she tried to I think at one point she was giving me the impression that she wasn't into that kind of stuff. And I had to go ahead and bring up, so how do you explain your internship for Twitter then? You know what I mean? It being of a stature of a tech company as it is. You know what I mean? Because, what's so dope about Twitter is the fact that it's not more so of a social media platform. It was more so of a conversation platform. It's just people where they just go.
What's happening, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a good place for where people just go over there and just talk their shit.
Yeah.
Good place. So if you want to talk your shit, go to Twitter.
Yeah, Wild Wild West.
So yeah, but I never got into it with black Twitter people. I always hear people talk about black Twitter, talking about them. You have black Twitter, then you have feminists on Twitter. Then you have all different types of cults. They try to say.
Honestly, black Twitter
has its own cults.
Black Twitter is Twitter, and then everything else is just subs.
Everything else is just subs?
Yeah, like black Twitter makes Twitter, and then everything else are just components of it.
Very true. Very true. But we were actually having a a little pre-discussion before this about some projects that she had archived and that she didn't want to really release to the public eye. And but she's saying that she's keeping a fully loaded clip because this is the kind of energy that she's just gonna I don't know, she's just gonna keep this kind of energy. She just wants to keep things archived, and she doesn't want it to ever see the light of the day.
When you say it like that, it sounds really bad.
But this is what you're doing to your art. So if you abuse your art's gonna eventually run away from you, and then you're not gonna have no kind of creativity flow going on in your medulla oblongata.
Wow, it costs money to produce something great. Supplies for shows and stuff. Galleries aren't cheap. Spaces aren't cheap. Just saying.
That's true, but I guess it's the way you look at it. I guess it comes down to the way you look at the world. If you feel like you can't do it,
oh no, I know I can do it. I'm just you were coming for my neck, so I'm gonna go with the money thing.
It's all good, man. It's all good. But so yeah, let's talk about I Am and why we decided to start, digging into the archives and blowing the dust off a few of your works that you produced.
Well, I said earlier when I was here, I really want to have my first gallery show before the year ends, but seeing as the year is slowly coming to fastly coming to an end, it's just very much reflection period. We're in the last quarter. We're about last quarter of the year. We're about to be in the last quarter of the year, and we're a lot of oh, look how far I've come in January. Did I achieve those goals I set forth when I entered the new year? Even those type of things. And then lately I've just been up. I'm up. And when you're up, your thoughts are the only thing up with you. So you're what am I doing with my life? So those are why the archives are slowly emerging.
Yeah. Yeah. When you I be having those moments where you're up at 3, 4 in the morning. I'm like, damn.
What the fuck am I doing?
What? No, I be asking, why am I even up right now? I be looking around stupid yo, why am I even up? And then I'm like, you know what? I got some juice up in the tank right now, so I'll probably write something down, a paragraph or two.
Oh wow, you're productive. I'm up and I'm just thinking
No, I do it because I have something mumbled up in my head. I'm like, where did this come from? And I'm like, let me just hurry up and get it out before I forget it. Because my short-term memory is shot. It is shot.
Too easy.
Yeah, it's just, it's just one of those things that, it just comes with nature. You just got to go with the flow.
Yeah. Yeah, I found a book. Well, there's a book I want to write. And I started writing it in 2017. Okay, so guys, bear with me. I broke my phone 2 days before I had a flight, so I bought a new one. So this is the last iCloud backup, and I found this book that I started writing, and I was like, shit, maybe I should continue. But for anyone who's a writer, it sucks. Once you start, it's okay, no, and then pick it up, no. So there's a lot of half-done projects.
Yeah.
Just sitting.
That's very relatable.
Yeah.
I can relate to that for real because you know what it is? And I'm so terrific at coming up with book titles. I'm really good at coming up with book titles, and sometimes I be like this. I'm like, all right, now the words just got to rain upon me, and I just got to transfer this energy over to this paper, and then this is how it's going to go.
Yeah.
But, yeah, sometimes when it rains, sometimes my body just be too tired and I don't want to be writing.
Honestly, it's been raining this whole week. I was supposed to go to work. I was like, I'm going to go. I step outside and it started pouring heavy. I was like, you know what? It's not that serious. I don't need this job. Went right back upstairs.
So where'd you take a flight to?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. What was going on in Pittsburgh?
I went to a women's summit.
How was
business women's summit. Really dope. I've never been to a summit surrounded by only women, for women, talking about just talking about progression, especially in the business world. So one of the questions a girl asked was so how do you balance? Because she's I want kids, and how do you balance I'm doing this because it was a white girl got forgive me. How do you balance the two? And the woman was just like, why you like think about it once it happens.
Right.
Like, don't prepare like, oh, I'm not going to take this opportunity because I'm going to get pregnant in 3 months. Like you don't know what's going to happen in 3 months. You might get pregnant and then you might have to change it, but just let it happen and then process it that way. And I was like, that's a good takeaway.
Right.
But I feel like when you're a female, you just have to think about that. Like, am I going to have kids or am I not going to have kids? And if I do have kids, what time do I, like, there's just a whole bunch of series and then that you have to go through, especially if you want to be a working, like a woman with a career. There's a lot of things like guys don't think about. Guys could be like, okay, I want to be CEO, and the next day they go for it.
So let me ask you something. When did you come to realize that you really had a thing for business? When did you know, like, you know what? I can fuck with business. I don't know about this other stuff, but this is something that, you know, has got my ear right now. So let me go ahead and bring my curiosity over here.
I want to say I've always loved business. I think it's in my veins, like in my blood, like my great.
Why you say that?
Because my dad told me a story about how his mother used to sell everything, anything and everything. So like, I'm Nigerian and she like, there's different ways to sell it, but like she sells fish, soda, like all of that. And I'm like, that's me. That is, I have her spirit. May her soul rest in peace. But like, I sold in high school, I sold candy, I sold honey bun, I sold chips, I sold soda. And then once I did that to buy a camera. I did all of this just to buy a camera.
Right.
And I don't know, business is fun. Numbers are fun. Like, ownership is fun. Making money, having money, like having money to play with.
So you see no challenges within it.
There's challenges, but that's the fun of it. That's the, like, all of it. When it comes down to it, there's, like...
And you've been embracing challenges since early childhood.
Yeah, but when it comes down to it, when we break down everything, everything is a business. I don't care what field you want to go into. Everything is a business. And if it doesn't sustain itself, the business will crash or the economy will crash. Like, okay, let's say you want to go into tech. I was just telling someone this in one of my interviews. I was like, okay, it's cool if the engineers build all these products, but if they're, most of the time, they're really not in a business mindset. They're very like, I want to ship this, I want to do this, which is great.
Right.
But if there's no one to buy your product, cool. You have Alexa. There's no one to play. Like, it's just...
Right, because the demand has to be there.
Yeah.
And if you can create that want within their hearts, then, you know, you got your gold mine. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, that's the way the shark runs. It's like, that's just the way business is. But
yeah,
you know, but a lot of people look at business as a form of freedom as well, because it's like, you know, in some form of way you are controlling your time, but you still be consumed by what you're most passionate about. But see, you be making a living off of it. So you found the business end to your passion. So you was able to make that connection, and then boom, you just like let that thing channel and do what it needs to do.
So I'm gonna put a pin in that. So I feel like when it comes to your passion, doesn't necessarily have to be your business, and that sounds like really weird.
Okay. No. But why? Why
but
so?
When we talk about logistically, the most successful businesses solve problems. Mm-hmm. Your passion might not solve a problem.
That's true, but doesn't mean that there isn't a market for your passion.
That doesn't mean there's not a market for it, but when we're talking about like the levels of business, I'm not saying if you're an artist, you can be an artist, like a well-paid artist, right? But if we're talking about building empires and strategical like wealth, right? We can't, like, my artistry, I can't pass that to my if I have kids, I can't pass that down. But if I establish a legacy where I'm selling shirts.
Listen to me. Oh, can you pause right there real quick, please? Just real quick. It's funny you mentioned that because we was talking about him on last episode. We was talking about a person of that stature, which would be Akon. Mm-hmm. And I seen an interview with him recently, something he did on Nori's podcast called The Drink Champs. He was on there for like a close, almost like 2 hours, but it was a good episode. And he was just dropping about, the importance of, of why he's doing what he's doing. Like he said, how he started solar? Mm-hmm. He started solaring, doing solar panels because he said he was going to certain countries within Africa and they didn't have electricity, so he wasn't able to do certain concerts. Mm-hmm. He said, this is ridiculous. How is there no freaking electricity over here? So then he got into that solar program, and that solar program just took off. Ever since, he got released out of prison in America, and then he started his rap career. He used his rap career as a platform to build, his businesses, which is really dope, man.
I love Akon.
I'm
locked up. You let me out. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like exactly what he's doing. He was dropping a lot of jewels. If you get a chance,
I gotta listen to that. But 2 hours is a long time.
But it's a good listen. I don't think you would get bored because there was times that I was listening, I was laughing. Like mad times throughout the interview, it had me dying.
I'm gonna break it down in 30-minute segments, like I watch my shows.
You watch your shows in 30-minute segments?
Most shows are 30 minutes long, 21 minutes.
Not Netflix shows.
Commercials. I don't have Netflix.
Oh, okay. You Hulu?
Not my Hulu, but shout out to my plug.
A Hulu plug? What the fuck? Oh shit, Hulu plug. That's a first. I never heard of that.
Hulu is great. Hulu has Living Single. This is not a paid, but y'all should pay me.
Yo, Amazon's rising up in the ranks though.
They are. Hold on. We're going to get there. But Hulu has Living Single. They have all my 90s cartoon shows. They have everything that I watch back and forth. And I just sit there and rewatch the same shows. But yeah, Amazon is rising.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a brand ambassador.
It's funny because I started looking I was looking on Robinhood, but I'm realizing that Robinhood only has they do group stocks. I forgot there's a specific term for that name. I think it's called
mutual funds, ETF.
ETFs, there we go.
No, they have individualized stocks. So I like Robinhood because it simplifies.
What app is that?
The one you're talking about, Robinhood.
Oh, Robinhood, okay.
Yeah, it simplifies investing. It's not as because I went on NASDAQ and I was like, this is a lot. So it's cool. They have individual. You could purchase individual.
Do?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want me? I'll pull it up real quick. I try not to check it every day because
Listen, this is
I'm trying to get my friend to sign up for it because somebody said they did it and then they won Apple. If I could win Apple.
What, Apple stock?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
So these are like all the individual ones that I own. But yeah. And I've been playing around with penny stocks because they're kind of fun.
How'd you get into that?
Penny stocks?
Yeah.
I just like risk. I'm very risk. It's not adverse, is it? But I like taking risk. And penny stocks are fun. But you understand, I just like playing with numbers. It makes no sense.
But penny stocks is good because the upside to it is you can gamble small but win big.
Yeah, but you do bulk. Yeah. No, but you're right. You're right. So if it's like, I bought one yesterday that's $250 and I bought like 25. It's about $50.
Mm.
I'm so lazy. I wanted to buy a weed stock, but the research.
Yo, listen to me. That is the. We mentioned this last episode again. Yeah. Like we need more black faces behind cannabis. Yeah. We need to get into the cannabis culture.
The white man's already in it.
No, so.
No, not so. But the regulations they're gonna start putting is.
But you know what? Check this out. This is why back to what I was saying before. He was Akon was telling a lot of people like he was just sending like a call to action. He was saying like, yo, listen. Anybody, people of color, want to get something popping, come to Africa and start it. Mm-hmm. He said, come to Africa and start. He said, you get a Fortune 500 start in less than 5 years.
Yeah.
He said, just because of who you are. He said, I don't think you understand what's going on. And then I'm like, wow. So I've been seeing some videos. I forgot this guy's name.
A lot of people are going to Africa. Don't sleep.
Don't sleep.
Yeah.
It's a lot of moves being made under the radar right now.
The Chinese have been there for a long time.
But they're getting tired of them. They're getting very tired of them.
First of all, no, it's not. They've been tired of them. But, like.
They tolerate them?
yeah, it's so weird. So I went back, and I've been to Niger a couple times, but when I went back last time, there's this wall, and it's owned by the Chinese, and I think it's a factory or something, but it's so out of place. Like, you're driving along the village, and then you look, there's like this long wall. I'm like, but you know.
But you know what? I noticed that something else I love about Africa is I love the dance culture. Holy crap, the dance culture is lit.
Everybody. That's, you know what? That's what's frustrating to me about.
They need leagues.
That's what's frustrating to me about parties here.
Imagine the North versus the South kind of thing. Like, you have leagues. Let's build league. Listen. No.
We already got enough problems. Now you trying to start some dance war.
No, dance wars. Why not? Let's get it popping. They're gonna try. Chris is gonna try to throw his face in there, but of course, why not? We'll take that. Let's go.
It's mainly, this is not even shots. Well, there's different form of. So you've probably been exposed to mainstream dancing, but most of the dancing you've seen is West African dancing. But there's traditional. There's so it wouldn't even. It would be more like Nigeria versus like the Congos or something like that. I wanted to say Ghana, but I know someone's about to throw some shots real quick.
But you know what? Is this true? Like, could you relate to this? Like, Akon was saying that Senegalese is like the most non-violent country in Africa because it's so religious.
I don't know too much about Senegal. There's this place in Harlem there's a whole bunch of African restaurants, but there's this Senegalese restaurants, really small. It's like you're back home, and the lamb is great. That's so random, but I know nothing about Senegal. The weird thing about African countries and then African people is like we're not monolithic, like Black people in general. But it's like when we talk about Africa, we talk about Africa as a whole. But like, no offense, like people in that country can only have the capacity to care about their country. It's like, why not to be like, why am I caring about what's going on over there? But like, I got my own shit. Right. If that's making sense,
right?
Like, it's okay. It's like I said so many times.
Is this safe to say? I just want to say, is this safe to say? Do you think people care about Africa too broadly? In a sense, like, it's just too broad. Like, it should be a little bit more narrow. Why is it that you care about Africa? You care about it because this raises a concern for you, or do you like Africa because you fell in love with this, or you fell in love with this? It doesn't have to even be a negative thing. It could be a positive thing, So it just matters what side of the fence it falls on.
When you say too broadly, I feel like it's not. I don't think you could care about something too broadly. I think. Okay. The education is too broad. Like when we have conversations about Africa, it's very like Africa this, right? But then they forget like the North is different than the West. Like you were saying, Senegalese people are calm. From my experience, you people from Uganda are probably the nicest, most like soft people Nigerians I've ever met. I'm Nigerian, and we're just aggressive people. Even if when I try to tone it down,
y'all come with some resumes behind y'all, man. Y'all develop a reputation. We're not gonna go into the specifics, but listen.
When I try to calm it down, I'm just naturally aggressive. But like other countries aren't as aggressive, and there's attributes to each country that people aren't aware of. Even like I'm like starting to and trying to educate myself on other African countries, but it's just there's a lot. There's 54. That's like part of the African country. That's a lot of people and a lot of different things.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah. I like to say South Africa is the America of Africa because
it seems like it.
Yeah.
And would you say it's very capitalistic?
Yeah. And then it just has a lot of influence of other countries, right? When we talk about like, when I was an intern at Twitter, I was like, they need to have a Twitter Africa, right? An office because they have an office in like every major country.
Right.
However, if they did put an office in Africa, most likely they're going to put it in South Africa. And South Africa it's so colonized that it's different.
Right.
So it would just be interesting. Like Google has an office in South Africa. No offense, not no offense, but yeah, It's just its own thing.
Just his own thing.
Yeah. I feel like that. Like, I feel like they're a little bit like separate. It's just something going on and so forth. For the gram.
For the gram.
For the gram. For the gram.
But yeah, just so many, like, it's really dope. And this is why, like, when I was listening to this interview, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. This is crazy.
You're
But
right
it was
there.
like, he was just like, and it just seemed so natural. Like, oh, no, this is normal. Like, you know, this is what's going on. But he's like, I need y'all to know, like, somebody's trying to, you know, I need y'all to know. Y'all need to make some moves now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm opening some doors for y'all. Y'all need to make some moves now. Stop playing
Wow.
games.
I might need to hit up Akon.
Seriously, like he and I'm on his mailing list for when his cryptocurrency becomes available.
Coin.
I'm not playing.
Coin.
Yes, I'm getting on deck.
A
Seriously,
coin.
because I like what he's doing and what he's about. He has his own media team now. You know, kudos to him on that as well.
Akon married me.
He's very well established and he's a good example, very good example. But there's this other show out right now which is very interesting as well. It's called State of the Culture.
State of the Culture.
Right.
Interesting.
Very good show. You guys, I don't want to name the names because there's two people. No, there's one person. I don't really know her name. I think it's Erica, but I'm not too sure. But they got Joe Buttons, this guy named Jinxie, and Remy Ma.
Oh, Remy Ma.
Yeah. And they talk about, you know, about matters of what has happened within the hip hop culture. They go ahead and give their opinions. You know, they have some very good discussions about it. You know, very healthy discussions, and they like very like nice, like a little unfiltered. You could tell like they really speaking their shit. So I like the fact that they give them some type. It seemed like they do have a wide range control on their creativity, like what they're allowed to do.
Mm-hmm.
So. But other than that, they brought up a very interesting topic about hip hop and entrepreneurship and how it's made a placement within the Forbes list. So hip hop entrepreneurship is has its own table in the Forbes now, and it's for the likes of people like Akon, what Akon's doing, Nipsey Hussle, who else? You got other people, like people's into clothing, people's into jewelry lines, people's into makeup lines.
I gotta check
Hip hop
this
is like, it's showing how hip hop is really touching different
But
types of things.
that's been.
But you know what? They saying social media is actually what sped this up for hip hop. And another thing, record companies, I can agree with this, I think, because times have changed and it's so easy for anybody to just become big and make it on their own. But I think that record companies don't have too much control over the artists as much as they did back in the day. I think
It depends on the contract they sign.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But not everyone can be an independent artist
Why you say that?
because not everyone has the capacity to be independent. That means you have to control everything.
What do you think are the qualifications of that though? Like, what do you think? Like, all right, this is what you need to have in order to be a good independent artist.
Wow, that's a some level of. I think you just have to understand. Okay, I'll say
No,
three.
yeah. Take your time. Yeah. Give it some thought.
3 things you have to understand is music law, like what things you can sample or whatever. Just the laws surrounding that. Money skills. How are you gonna, like, you can hire a manager or whatever, but how are you gonna produce capital? How are you gonna pay people? And then you just have to have this level of hustle that can't be, like, not everyone's
That can't be
chance.
touched.
Right. Not everyone's chance. Not everyone. Yeah, there are people getting there. The beautiful thing about record labels is that they provide and control to a certain extent. Yeah, it's not always good, but they kind of like guide you and like brand you and have like they have a marketing team. They have a like here, like
Yeah, they have a marketing team.
yeah, do this, like, and then
Right.
Yeah.
So it just seems like, Yeah. But you know what? Looking at everything, and I've heard this to be something like it just shows you how far people will go to I guess create wealth or create success within their lives by any means. And sometimes that may have to deal or include with being relevant. Like you have to stay relevant, especially as an artist. And I mean, to me, I think there's a difference between an artist and an entertainer, but you know, that's a different discussion. But for the most part, as an artist, sometimes it's like you have to engage with the fuck shit, or you have to be on your dumbass troll shit.
Okay,
and then
define. You got to do the difference. What's the difference?
The difference is like, if you have to do that to stay relevant, bro.
So you're an entertainer if you do. Like I'm saying, define.
Like yeah, you like I don't know if you can like. I don't know. I think it could probably take away from your craft because now you got to do double trolling time because you got to keep your numbers up. You got to keep your stats looking right. You got to keep your insights on point.
Mm-hmm. But okay, earlier you said you have a short attention span, right?
What's going on, everybody? I hope you enjoyed the first part of this episode. I decided to do half-hour splits for y'all because some people do prefer shorter episodes. So I'm gonna give you this first part right here, which is the part 1, the one that you just got done listening to, and part 2 will either come out probably later on this week, or I'll probably definitely release it on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Back to our normal release time. But yeah, if you did enjoy that episode, be sure to let us know. You can email us at thesanfordpodcast@gmail.com, or you can stay in touch with the page on IG, which is Sanford Podcast, and it's the same for Twitter. We do like to talk our shit here and there, but we've been getting a little bit more active on Twitter. But yeah, that's where you can definitely connect with us as well. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and look out for the next episode, which will be out on Wednesday at 4 p.m. And but yeah, other than that, enjoy your day, enjoy your night. You know what I mean? Enjoy your motherfucking moment. You know what I mean? Take care.